Hi, I'm Christina from the Fort Worth Public Library. Today we're going to bring a story to life using stop motion animation. Basically how it works is you set up a scene, take a picture, move something a little, take another picture, and do that over and over and over. So it's stop motion, stop motion. When you play back all the pictures, they run together and it tricks your eye into looking like everything is moving smoothly. It sort of creates this illusion that your character came to life to move by itself. It's like a digital flipbook. Stop motion was used to make the Lego Movie and Chicken Run, but you don't have to make a feature-length film to make a stop motion video. We'll make a short one together and you can use that as a starting point to make all kinds of stop motion projects. I'm going to break down the process into 3 easy steps. We'll start with pre-production, where we'll plan and prepare. Then we'll move into production. This is the part where you'll film your masterpiece. And the last step is post-production. After you record, we'll talk about how to edit and share your movie. I'm using stuff from around the house to draw out my plans and to use as characters. To record, I'm using a free app, Stop Motion Studio, on an iPhone, but you can use the same app for iPads, Android phones, and other tablets too. It's pretty intuitive, so there's no experience required. In fact, the app is recommended for ages 4 and up, so just about everybody can learn how to do it. Just make sure you get permission before you install any apps, even if they're free. Okay, let's go. Before you start filming, take a few minutes to brainstorm what your movie's gonna be about. All movies need a story, and the better the story, the better the movie. You can come up with your own story, or you can do like me and just use a version of one that you already know. I'm gonna use the song The Itsy Bitsy Spider. Keep in mind that whatever you record today may just be part of the story you want to tell. You can always come back to your project later to add things, reshoot, or make other changes to improve it. Once you have the big picture in your head of what your story is going to be about, plan how you'll film it by taking a few minutes to draw out a storyboard. You can find storyboard templates online, or you can just draw one out for yourself like I did. It's really important to do this step though, because you're going to use this as a map or a blueprint, and it'll help you organize your movie shots into an order that makes the most sense, and it'll be much easier to film and edit later on. So to do a storyboard, you'll start by thinking about what are the key moments of the story. You want to boil things down to whatever the most important parts are. And think about what do you absolutely have to show in your movie to get the story across. So just keep in mind that storytelling isn't reality. It's just a version of it told with really specific moments. So if we're storyboarding the Itsy Bitsy Spider, what's the first part? The Itsy Bitsy Spider climbed up the water spout. So we're introducing the character, we're telling where he is and what he's doing. So let's draw that. All right, here's our storyboard for the Itsy Bitsy Spider. This first window will be the very opening of the movie, the first scene. So we'll draw that first part. And do you know what a water spout is? How would we draw that? I usually think of it as a watering can, like for watering flowers. So let's draw that. There's the handle, and there's the spout where the water comes out. And so we have an itsy bitsy spider climbing up this water spout. I don't know how many legs that is, but we know spiders have 8 legs, so we'll pretend that there are 8 legs on there. Remember, your storyboard doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can draw stick figures. You just want to have an idea of what's important in that shot. And in this scene, I'm going to move the spider up the water spout. So I'm going to draw an arrow so that I remember which way to move my characters. This is also the very opening scene, so we're introducing the character, and sometimes it's a good idea to show the background and where the movie is taking place, but then also to zoom in on the character so that you can see them up close. So I'm going to put a note over here to remind me to do a close-up of the spider. All right, what happens next in the story? Down came the rain and washed the spider out. So these are my raindrops. And in this scene, this is really traumatizing for the spider probably. So we're gonna show his little legs up in the air. And over here, I'm just gonna make a couple of notes. Maybe I'll just draw faces this time. So maybe the spider is sad. Maybe he's really surprised that this is happening to him. This is just gonna help me remember what sort of mood that I wanna capture when I'm recording this part of the movie. All right, what happens next? Out came the sun and it dried up all the rain. So in this one, maybe I'll still have a couple of raindrops, but they're drying up, so it's definitely gonna be fewer raindrops than in that shot. And then at the end of the story, we have the itsy bitsy spider climbing up the spout again. So I'll draw the water can again, and the spider is climbing on it again, lots of legs. And maybe in this last one, we'll still have that sun shining. So we'll have the story progressing as we go, and it just wraps up really neatly at the end. So that was pretty simple. Storyboards don't have to be super complicated, but as you get more advanced, they can be really helpful if you're making a bigger movie and you've got even more people helping you with it. It can help you to show them what you have in mind so that everybody can be on the same page about what the goal is for each shot and each part of recording the movie. Now that you've got a plan for the most important shots, you can decide what props you need to tell your story. It looks like for mine, I'll need a watering can, a spider, something for raindrops, and a sun. You can decide if you want people to act everything out, or if you have toys or action figures. You can build something out of Lego bricks, out of clay. You can even draw something on paper and cut it out. Just remember for stop motion though that you'll be taking a lot of pictures, so you want to find props that can stand up on their own. If they tip and fall during filming, it can be really tricky to get everything set back in the exact position again. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking around and see what I can find for the itsy bitsy spider. Okay, here's what I found. I have a water can, so this will be the spout that the itsy bitsy spider climbs. And for my spider, I didn't find a toy that looks like a spider, but I have a little Lego Spider-Man. So sometimes you have to use whatever you have on hand, and it's not always exactly what you had in mind, but I think this will be kind of funny. For the raindrops, I thought about using actual water and spraying it, but I didn't think it would come out very good on camera. So instead, I'm using Play-Doh, and I just took a little ball of Play-Doh and rolled it up, squished it down, and then gave it a little point for each raindrop. And I think this will be a lot easier too for stop motion because you can show it going down. For the sun, when that comes out, I just cut out a yellow circle, pretty simple. And before I set up the scene and start recording the itsy bitsy spider, I want to show you real quick how to install the app on whatever device you're using. So let's go over here real quick and do an overview of what the app will look like when you first install it so we can get started. There are lots of stop motion animation apps that you can download. I'm using Stop Motion Studio on an iPhone. You can also use it on an iPad or on Android smartphones and tablets too. I like it because it's easy to use even for beginners. You can see here it says it's the world's easiest app to get you into stop motion movie making today. You can get extra features with in-app purchases, or you can upgrade to the Pro version for $4.99. I just have the free version for everything I'm showing you in this video. When you first open the app, there will be clues on the screen to help you navigate. Tap Get Started, then tap the plus sign to start working on a new movie project. Tap OK to allow access to the camera. Click the camera icon, then click the red circle to take a picture. Drag the left slider down to see the onion skin feature. This makes it display a faint image of the previous frame on the screen to help you line up the next shot. If you look at a real onion, each layer is thin and sort of see-through. It's like the tracing paper that animators use when they draw each frame by hand. When you're ready, press the play button to see what it looks like for all the pictures so far to run together. And once you get the hang of things, you can use the built-in timer feature to automatically take a picture every few seconds or however long you choose. It will beep and give you a second to make sure you're out of the frame. Now you know the basics of using the stop motion app and can start making your own movie projects. Okay, we've got all our supplies ready to start recording the Itsy Bitsy Spider stop motion animation video. So we're going to make sure that our very first shot has everything we need. We have the watering can and our spider. We don't need these supplies just yet, but I'm going to keep them handy so that we can bring them in when I need them. And I'm going to put the storyboard right over here so I can keep looking at it as I go along. Now for the first scene where the spider moves up the water spout, I want him to kind of bounce like this. And this way I can capture lots of pictures as he does each little motion. So I will go ahead and open up the app on my phone, the stop motion app, and then we've got the plus sign to start a new project, and it says tap here to add some pictures, so we'll tap the camera icon, and now we need to just make sure we have everything lined up on the camera the way we want it to be. Take a picture of them to start. Sometimes you can add a couple extra frames, a couple extra pictures as you go along. And I do have that onion skin up so I can see the transparent version of the previous shot, and that helps me to line up where I'm pointing the camera again. But I encourage you to use a stand if you have a way to prop up your camera, your phone, against something so that you don't have to move it around so much. Since I'm showing you how to do stop motion, it's important for me to be able to move my phone right now out of the way so you can still see. But when you're doing movies on your own, it's a lot easier if you can just keep your phone still. So see how many pictures? I've already taken 9 pictures so far, and he's only part of the way up that water spout. So patience is a virtue as you're doing stop motion animation. You want to move your character just a little bit every time. If you move your camera a lot, if you move your character a lot every time, then it can jump around and it won't be as smooth whenever you play back all the pictures. And I think it looks a lot nicer whenever you have a lot of pictures and each character's moving just a little bit at a time. But remember, it doesn't have to be perfect as you're experimenting with a new way to make art or movies or just to play around. All right, he's just about down at the end of the water spout. So let's play back what we've got so far. I'm gonna push the play button here. Oh, it looked like it started a little bit further in. So let's go out and we'll start it from the very, very beginning and we'll play it back there. Hey, that looks pretty good. I like that. Okay, when it starts over again, let's sing it. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Hey, that kind of goes in line with how I sing it on average. Okay, so the timing is okay, but if it wasn't, if you wanted to experiment with those frames per second, right now it's set at 5 pictures, 5 frames every single second when we play back the movie. But if you wanted it to go faster, you can pick a different number. And then when you play it, it goes, the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. You have to sing a little faster. And you can just keep changing that and it can play back at whatever speed you choose. Okay, I'm gonna come back here and keep taking some pictures. And now is the part where we have the rain starting to come down. So I'm gonna get my rain out, and I made all these little raindrops ahead of time so that hopefully it'll go kind of quick. Still have a couple more in there. Okay, and to do these, I just rolled up a ball of Play-Doh, squished it down, and then made a little point at the top. So we want the rain to start coming down a little bit at a time. We don't want it to just immediately have a lot of rain all at once. So I may not put all of these out in this first part. I think I'm just going to start with some of them, and then I'll add in some more as I start moving them down. And you want to make sure that your extra supplies are close by, but that they're not in the shot. So I'm going to make sure everything is moved out of the way, even though what you see on this screen is going to be just a little bit different from what I see on this screen, because this camera is a little bit closer to everything. So I'm going to try to line it all up. And yeah, see here, I only see a little bit of the raindrops, but I'm going to start taking some pictures of the rain starting to come down. And I'm going to move, now instead of just moving the spider, I'm going to move the spider and the raindrops every time. So I think he's going to be a little surprised and kind of thrown off a little bit as these raindrops start coming down. We're just going to move those a little bit at a time. Maybe I'll start adding in a couple more in some places. And we're going to keep taking pictures. So again, if your camera was on a stand, it would be really easy to find your spot again, but I'm moving mine around. So we're going to just take a couple more pictures as this rain starts coming down. Try to move everything. Okay. Line it up. And he's going to start sliding back down the water spout. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way so you can see me moving this stuff. Again, I've got a few more of these raindrops I can drop in. Okay, here we go. And we can see that transition starting to happen as the rain is coming down and the Spider-Man is going down. With Play-Doh, you have to be careful because it can get a little messy where some of these stray pieces find their way into the shot too. Okay, let's see if I can get everything lined up again. That onion skin feature is so helpful. All right, I'm going to keep doing everything a little bit at a time. We're going to try to get lined up. Ooh, okay, there we go. And he's going to start coming down a little bit more. And I think these raindrops are going to slide down the spout too, like if the water was collecting and gravity was pulling everything down. And maybe he's kind of tumbling along with the rain too. Oh, he looks like he's getting swallowed up by the rain almost. That's good because I remember in this shot we wanted it to be a little bit surprising for him. Okay. Keep moving everything down just a little bit at a time. Maybe he's kind of tumbling around in the raindrops. I think that would be kind of fun. I'm going to try to make him flip a little bit as these raindrops start collecting down here. So now I'm just kind of squishing them all. They're close enough where I can kind of squish them all together and have everything move a little bit easier. Okay, and then I think it's about time for us to start thinking about the sun starting to come out. So I'm going to move the sun, I want it to start coming down into the shot, and I want it to kind of spin as it goes. It's not a perfect circle, so you'll be able to notice as it's spinning. So I'm going to start introducing the the sun here. These are still going to be going, and this is going to be coming down. And at the same time, the sun is going to be drying up all the rain. So maybe I'm going to take away some of these raindrops as I'm introducing the sun. The 1, 2 can disappear as he's finding his way. Get rid of these over here on the side. And I want to make sure that I'm still moving the sun around too. It's a nice little motion. Take away a couple more. Okay, now we have the spider and the sun with no more rain. This is great. Okay, so now is the time that the spider starts going up the spout again, and I'm going to move his arms up. Maybe he's looking this way now to look at the sun. If I can spin that around a little. Got a little piece of Play-Doh there. Okay, so he's happy now that all the rain is gone. Maybe he's kind of jumping up a little bit. Gotta make sure my fingers stay out of the way whenever I get ready to take those pictures. Okay, this is good. And he's just gonna go up the water spout again, a little bit at a time. I left his arms up. You can play around with how much you want to move your characters as they go through your movie. If moving their arms and legs and heads can add things to the story and help you understand what they're going through. Oops, which way was I moving the sun? I don't remember. That's okay. It can bounce around however the sun wants to move. The sun is just going to shine how it's going to shine. Alrighty, here we go. I think that might be one of my last shots. So I've got a cat over here. Let's go ahead and play. Oh, my cat's tail. Can you see that there? Let's play back our movie. Let's go back out and watch the whole thing from the beginning. So we've got the itsy bitsy spider climbing up the water spout, and then down came the rain and washed the spider out. But out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. All right. Now I think it ended a little sooner than I ended the song. So what you can do is at the very last, or this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to tap on that last picture, and I'm going to say I want to pause that picture for just a few seconds. So now when I play back the entire movie, it's going to say the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout, down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. And it held it for me, so the timing was a little bit better. And you can play around with all these different settings and features in the app. Keep exploring, make lots of different movies, but that was a a simple way that you can start using stop motion using this app for the Itsy Bitsy Spider, a simple story. I can't wait to see what you come up with though. You may do some editing as you film, but you can do even more once you see how all the pieces fit together. You might decide to trim down a scene or cut it out entirely. You could also go back through and add sound effects to your movie. You can record your voice to narrate the story, or you could record sound effects, things like footsteps or doors closing, to really enhance certain scenes. One of my favorite ways though is to use free apps like GarageBand so that you can compose and record your own original music for your movies. And then once you're happy with how your movie is, you can share it with your family. You can sit them all down and watch the movie together on whatever device you use to record it, or you could post your movie online if you have permission to use social media. If you do decide to post it online, make sure to tag the Fort Worth Public Library because we would love to see what you come up with. Once you do make a movie, don't stop there. Keep making movies. Keep practicing any new skill that you learn. You can write your own story. You can pick another one. If you ever have any trouble coming up with a story, you can make a story cube. So you roll it and pick a random picture to inspire you. You could also, of course, head over to the library, whether in person or online. And you can read more stories and watch more movies from your local public library. Head over to fortworthlibrary.org to keep exploring with us. Thank you so much for joining me.